coolest thing about Anker is the automation. The automation in Anker, it can trigger both validation and the population. Validation is something that building owners and contractors usually do to validate the data before they send the BIM out to a construction site. Population is for architects and engineers, and maybe also contractors, but let's talk about that some other time. An automation in Anker can be triggered by sync, upload, or scheduled, actually from this week. This means that using any of these rules, you can trigger an automation inside of Anker basically all the time without overloading any Revit session or any Revit file. So basically the people that you work with can just continue doing what they're always doing in Revit and sync, and then Anker outside of Revit handles all the automation. No Dynamo scripts, no Python scripts, no opening Revit, it all happens outside of Revit. Now for that to happen, we have to move the properties outside of Revit. And that is when it gets interesting. So let me show you an example of how that works today. Inside Revit, architects and engineers, they model their things, and then using Anker's automation algorithm and the population interface, you can write population rules, basically. In this case, I've created a bunch of control zones, or in this case, using just masses inside of Revit. And then I'm using Anker's automation to populate the data inside every element that is inside these control volumes every time any of the architects on this team syncs on any of the files. This is extremely potent because it allows you to just configure the rules of how you want that data to move around in the project, and then the rest of the team can just go about their business and model and move stuff around as they want to. In this case, I'm showing you a window, or actually I suppose it's a door, and this door is getting these properties, the contract number, the LOD, the project number, and the control volume number itself from the control volume, updated every time anyone syncs, uploads, or on a schedule. If I go back to look at the schedule, that has all the data, so this is all the elements, the doors, the windows, the walls, and so on. They are all getting populated and updated, as I said, every time anyone syncs. And then in the end, this data gets added to the either to the Revit file or to the IFC output whenever anyone exports.